ESPN 690 presents No Gate Fees with Brent Martineau, brought to you by Nimnick Buick GMC. Listen in as we talk all things high school baseball and softball. Interviews with coaches. Learn about the next generation of college superstars with Committed to the Uncommitted and who will top this week's power polls. It's No Gate Fees with Brent Martineau, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC.
2023 No Gate Fees, Episode 4. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz here on a Monday evening in Jacksonville, Florida, and beyond as we enter the late stages of March. High school baseball, high school softball in full swing. And, of course, we will talk about those sports. We've got our High Five Power Polls coming up later on in the show. Committed to the Uncommitted on the baseball side, the softball side. I continue to tell you at the top of the show, nominate folks on the baseball and softball fields that are seniors that would still like to play at the next level, and we know time is running out for them. We know it's a bit late in the game, but we'd love to help them if we can. This is a scholarship program too, so anybody that we do recognize here on the show will be up for a scholarship award at the end of this season with our show No Gate Fees, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC, much in part because of Nimnick Buick GMC on the Committed to the Uncommitted, and also iCryo and Davoli's House of Cards as well. So we appreciate the support so we can help the kids out. Get recognition is really the primary goal. If we get a few bucks in their pocket for a scholarship as they head on to college, that would be great as well. We'll have some coaches call in today from the softball side. Matt Lewis from Clay, he's been there for a couple of decades now, and well, almost a few decades. He has been there since early or in the 90s and has a great track record, and they're off to another nice start this year out there in Clay County. And meanwhile, a new guy in the high school ranks, Tommy Boss, Providence on the baseball side. They are really good and one of the top teams in the area. Former UNF coach. He will join the show as well to talk about the Providence Stallions, and they have a big game coming up tomorrow against St. John's Country Day. It's another thing we'll do on the show today is we'll take a look at some of the big games. There are a lot of good matchups this week in baseball and softball. But always on this show, and this is how we like to kick it off, and this is the one we've waited for. No Gate Fees is the name of the show for a reason. We wanted to get the show going a little bit before we got into, well, do you mind paying to watch your kids play? That's the simple question. And I'll give you a little background of where the show title came from. And I think I brought this up last week or 2 weeks ago. We almost went with Stay and Play because that's another thing that's popular in the travel world. And we might hit on that today. Stay in hotels while you play. And obviously the city makes money, but you're forced to stay in a hotel. It's kind of one of those things that parents are like, really? Why can't I stay in the hotel and get my Marriott points or whatever else? But we chose No Gate Fees. And really, one of the inspirations of this show came some 5-6 years ago. I can't even remember the time frame now. And it did bother me paying to watch the kids play. And I don't think I'm a cheap guy, Casey Kurtz. Now, you might think so, Casey Kurtz. You may chime in and say that. But I don't think I am. And I will get to the point about high school that's different than travel ball. But this was a travel ball tournament some 5-6 years ago, like I said. I think we were down in Cocoa Beach, actually. I can remember where we were. And this is one of those tournaments where for the kids, it was like a 2-game on Saturday, pool play, enter a bracket, but only if there were 16 teams, only 12 teams made the bracket on Sunday, let's say. I don't know if that was the exact situation, but you get my point. So on Sunday, if you didn't make the bracket, you actually played a consolation game.
Very familiar with the consolation game situation.
But so if you play the bracket, you have a chance to play like 3 times in a day, and you get a bunch of at-bats and all this stuff, and you might play deep into the night, and there's a different side of that. Is that too many games in a day? But at least you get kind of your money's worth. In a consolation situation, you play in one game and done. You have nowhere to advance to.
Right.
So you played your 2 games Saturday, you stay in the hotel and you pay that, and you play in a game that's meaningless in terms of the tournament, but I think there's a ton of value in playing games anyway at that level, live at-bats and other experiences, so that's okay. So I didn't even intend to make this a big deal, but I tweeted out that morning because I was like, $10 to go watch 1 game, and that's all it was going to be. $10 to watch 2 games in a day? Okay. 10 games to watch 1 game in a day? Come on. How about we have a consolation rate? Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Like if you're in the consolation round, it's $5.
That's true.
That's all I was kind of after. Well, I tweeted out I was just like, hey, just another $10 to watch the kid play today. Probably could go see a Braves game and sit in the outfield. The Braves were bad at the time. All right.
Yes.
And I'm serious. I think I looked it up, and you could go for like $7 to the outfield of the Braves game.
Yeah, I believe that.
And I'm telling you, this thing went crazy on Twitter. Like I was not trying to stoke the flames at all. Like I wasn't trying to set this thing off. And it just went. And I was like, wow, what is going on here? I struck a nerve. I'm not the only one that feels this way. So long story short, ever since that happened, I was like, gosh, these folks that do this, they don't like paying me either. And here's the reason why I don't like paying gate fees at a travel ball tournament. They're already getting us, right? We know that. We've signed up for it. So we've signed up for that part of it. And that's okay. That's what we sign up for. But then they're kind of sticking it to you at the gate to tell you we want $20 more.
Big time.
Right? They're like, all right, it's already costing X amount of dollars. You're staying in a hotel, everything else. Like, we get it. We signed up for that. But now you're telling me I got to pay $20 to watch a kid play? And my mom has to, and my dad has to, and my wife has to. And there's no, like, senior citizen discount at a lot of these, or even military discount. Or the only thing they do is you can sneak, like, the siblings in. Because even when they're like, it's 12 and under, I don't even know what it is. But at 14 and 15, you're pretending you're 12.
Big time. I didn't win that, but I didn't.
Yeah. Our kids are small. We can do that.
That's true. Maybe still.
Actually, might still be able to do that. So that was like where I was just like, why don't you just charge up front to the team? Just charge us the gate fee, do the math, whatever it is, and charge us up front as a team, and we'll never know it, so you're not shoving it in our face.
It's a good idea.
Like, that was it. That was really it. That's all it is for me. It's like, I don't mind paying it probably because I'm going to pay it, but don't shove it in my face that you're basically taking as much money as I'm willing to pay.
Yeah.
And so that's where I get on the tournament fees. Like, I just think it's ridiculous. Now, I will say this. I have no problem paying a gate fee for a high school event. I think it's important for the high schools. I think they need it for fundraising and everything else. I don't think it's important to put it in travel organizations and people running tournaments' pockets and just add money to what they're already making. I don't. But I think it is for high school. I have no problem with it at all. And so I think there's a delineation. I don't know if everybody feels that way, but I think there's a certain distinction between paying to watch your kid play school ball and paying to watch your kid play travel ball. Now, here's the thing. If you're into baseball and softball, you're getting a bargain because it's expensive in other sports, even more than baseball and softball.
True.
Soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, cheerleading. Cheerleading is the worst. We'll share some of it as the show goes along, but it is probably the worst. And then I have this other thing. And some, I guess, already do it, but I haven't experienced this a lot. And we have played in a lot of different travel ball tournaments in baseball and softball. And the only time I've been charged for parking, I think, was up in Atlanta at the big tournament. But I think it was a school across the street that was doing it as a fundraiser and charging like $2 or $3, which, again, I have no problem with. That's cool. Like, that's their fundraiser outside. That's a smart move, right? It's like selling Girl Scout cookies outside the thing. Sure, I'll buy some. But when are they going to get us for parking? Like, when is that coming when they actually get you to park down at Sanford or Newberry or wherever?
It's funny you say that because I reached out to, I guess, I don't know how this works. How does it work when you marry somebody and then their aunt, does that become your aunt?
Sure.
Sure. So Amanda's Aunt Kim, which I guess is technically mine, they have some kids that play volleyball and gymnastics. And I was just checking, the gate fee situation in those sports, and she added in, it's funny you bring it up, some of the venues you have to include parking, which is an additional $10. So it sounds like in gymnastics and volleyball, they may already have tapped in to the parking market.
I talked to a buddy today about lacrosse. He said parking, yeah, they already get you. In Disney's a different world now. If you ever play an event, AAU event, baseball event, soccer event, volleyball event, Disney, now they are scamming the heck out of you down there. Like, they're going to get you for everything. But they do that at Disney World, too. Like, it's amazing what they'll I mean, you could be 6 years old and you're paying $64 to watch 3 games at Disney's Wide World of Sports.
True.
I mean, it's insane. So when is parking going to be like the normal thing? Is going to be pretty interesting to keep an eye on. We'll have some of the reaction. We'd like your reaction. We think this does spark some reaction. And it really sparked the title of the show here, No Gate Fees, because it's free admission here with us on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and we have this show every Monday night. We're talking a bunch of different topics. Just happens to be gate fees here tonight, and we'll continue to get some of your thoughts in the iCryo chat chamber. So you can do that on YouTube and on Facebook and on Twitter. And you can send us in your thoughts on every topic every week. And again, we like to say the discussion goes on and on, not just here on a Monday night from 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. No Gate Fees presented by Nimnick Buick GMC. Let's go to the phone right now, and we bring in Tommy Boss. He gets in for free. He's the coach, by the way. So he's okay. Tommy Boss, the Providence coach. Hey, you caught us right in the middle of our rant to start the show, Coach. So apologies for keeping you on the line for a couple minutes, but thanks for joining us. Year 1 at Providence, and you guys are off to a terrific start. How do you like being a high school baseball coach of the Providence Stallions?
Man, I'm loving it so far. Thank you guys for having me on. It's fun to be back. I've actually coached 8 years of high school baseball and 8 years of college, so this is kind of like the tipping point to get me back on the high school range. So no, I'm excited. We're off to a decent start, so it's been fun.
Well, give us a little more of your background, because obviously you most recently were at UNF. Where did you coach high school ball before, after your playing days?
So I'm a small-town guy. I am from Dunellen, Florida, little town just south of Gainesville. And, right when I finished playing, that's a whole nother story in itself, but I was kind of helping out coaching at the high school as I was still playing some independent ball. And coached a season there as like the pitching coach, and then went off and played ball and came back, and I was kind of in the same role doing the same thing, and got a weird phone call from the principal at like I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning on like the Monday of the opening week of the season, and she calls me into her office and is like, "Hey, listen, I'm some things have gone on. I'm going to make a change at head coach, and I want you to be my head coach." I'm like, I think I'm 24 years old at the time. And I said, well, let's go. Let's roll with it. And, that's kind of how it all started. So I coached at Dunellen High School for 5 years. And then once I got into that, I kind of had the itch to get into the college game. And it's kind of just like any other job that you try to get as you're trying to get started. You got to have experience. You got to have, recruiting experience. You got to have this. You got to have that. And so Ross Jones over at St. John's River State College, who was actually my pitching coach at Florida, he's one of my references on my resume and stuff like that. And he had a job come open, and he's like, "Hey, Tommy, you're never going to get one of these other jobs unless you got to get started somewhere." So I was able to coach there with him for 3 years, getting some recruiting under my belt, and we had some success there. So that was a good time. But I just listened to you guys' the rant about the gate fees and all that different kind of things. It kind of hits home for me too. Like, coaching at St. John's River State College, making peanuts. We have our little girl Addie. Next thing you know, the wife's pregnant again, and life kind of happens. And the Dunellen job came back open, and I had 2 kids, wasn't making any money, so I actually doubled my salary being a teacher again. Being a teacher and going back and coaching high school baseball again. So I went back for 3 years at Dunellen, and then while I was there, the UNF job came open. Coach Carrington got it. He's somebody that I've known for a while and have respected and admired, and was doing a great job. And he reached out to me when he got the head job at UNF and asked me if was ready to come back into college. And that's kind of how it started, man. Or that's kind of how how it went for me, the coaching career.
Tommy Boss with us here on No Gate Fees, Providence Stallions head coach now here on ESPN 690, and there's a lot to dissect with you. How many of your guys know that you pitched at Florida and you were a 4-year guy at Florida, part of the national runner-up team, I think, SEC champs, regional teams? I mean, you had a successful career. You guys had a good run. Florida usually does, but do they Google that now? Do they know that? Do you share those experiences? Is it valuable while you're coaching? Like, how does that play a role in all of this?
I don't know. It's so dang long ago now. I'm getting old. I was playing there when half these kids weren't even born yet.
Yeah, I mean, your senior class, actually, they were born the last year you were in college.
Oh, man, don't tell me that.
Yeah, seriously.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So, I do kind of draw on those, just the experiences you've had in the games. Honestly, we went up and played in a big tournament in Hoover a couple weeks ago. And we played Parkview, which is the top whatever team in the country. They're really good. And, my speech before the game was like, listen, I've been on both sides of this. I was at the University of Florida. We finished second in the nation, made it to the College World Series, da-da-da-da. But for a lot of that year, we were ranked like number 1, number 2. But throughout that entire season, we had 23 losses that year. So, we didn't win every single game. And then the flip side of that, I've been at UNF and – ranked way down and had to go play a top-ranked Florida team and play Florida State on the road or some good UCF teams and different things when they're ranked. And guess what? We didn't lose every single one of those times. We went into Florida and beat those guys. We took a couple games from the Seminoles in my time. It can happen. So, if we played Parkview 10 times, they might beat us, 7 or 8 times. But we only had to play them once and was able to come out victorious that night. That was a fun game.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a big win for you guys, by the way, and no doubt the signature win so far in this young season, as I think you sit 12-2 right now with the Providence Stallions. You guys are senior loaded, which certainly helps, but very talented. Brett Dennis is a guy that has really done a nice job pitching and on the mound, in the box. You knew this coming in, that the Stallions were pretty loaded, right? So, this is kind of a nice job to walk into at a good time. So, are you just trying to let them play ball, or can you impact them?
Yeah, I really am. And I feel like I haven't had much to do with their success. We have some kids that are super talented. I was lucky enough to bring in an awesome coaching staff. These guys get after it. From Will Dorsey working with the pitchers to Daryl Walls works with the outfitters. He does some technology things. Abraham Sakara, he's a young buck. He's still playing ball, but I got him on as our hitting coach. And I've known Abraham through the UNF days, and then I got Daniel Remy, who's a former professional player, working with our infielders. And it's just been a combination of kind of letting the coaches coach and do their thing, and we've got such a talented group. You touched on Brett, but I think we have 9 seniors. 7 of them are going on to play college baseball. So it's been fun. It's been a blessing to me just to I just stay out of their way and all I do is kind of coach their effort. If you guys will play hard and get after it, you're going to be tough to get to beat.
Tommy Boss with us, Providence Stallions coach. We'll keep you just for another minute or so. St. John's Country Day coming up tomorrow. You know this area so well. You recruited the area for a long time now. This is a big one tomorrow night. There's like a measuring stick game. A beautiful thing about around here, you're going to play enough good teams. You don't have to win every game with the Max Preps rankings, but it is a nice measuring stick just about halfway through the year against another very good program, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, Tom Lucas over there at St. John's Country Day does such an awesome job. And they're, last year I know they graduated a bunch, and a couple of my favorite players that I ever watched played on that team. And just to be able to go up against a team like that, and you just know that they're going to be well coached. So they they lost the Finn Howells and a couple of other guys that have gone on to play. But they're going to be so well coached that they're going to play the game the right way. They're going to play the game hard. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Kind of see what we're made of for sure.
Yeah, tomorrow night, if there's a game to watch, in fact, we do that here on the show, a game to watch, and that's tomorrow night, St. John's Country Day at Providence. And then you got Bishop Snyder, and coming up a little bit later on the schedule, Bartram and Bowles, and St. John's Country Day again. You actually play them a couple times. Clay, who is having a very nice season as well. So look out for the Providence Stallions. I want to leave you with this. How proud are of the UNF Ospreys and a lot of those guys that you recruited to watch and check in on them right now. Guys like Alex Lodis, who came over to the program and is performing really well. And just in general, like so many guys that you helped recruit, and the Ospreys are playing well, and it looks like they're hitting a lot of bombs right now.
They sure are. And Alex is definitely what a stud that kid is. I'm so glad we were able to lock him up there before I left. And those guys, one thing about them, and it kind of goes back to Coach Brooks, Coach Bogart there, who's now taking over my job, and then Coach Parrington there's no quitting that guy, and he's always going to keep coming for you. Going to keep coming for you. And I think this weekend may have been their fifth walk-off win or something like that, where they came back and won on a walk-off. So those guys are great. And what's so cool is how much local talent is there, and how many local guys that we were able to get on that roster. So it's cool, and it moms, dads, grandmas, they're able to come and watch their kids play. So I'm super proud of those guys. I know they just had a big weekend, so hopefully they can keep it going.
Well, yeah, good job. It was always something that I kept stressing. But the local schools get a lot of local talent. You don't have to go very far, and you guys did a good job over there at UNF. And now you'll send a bunch of Providence Stallions on their way to collegiate level coming up next. But first things first, you got to finish off this year. Good luck the rest of the way. You guys have a team that can then really go deep. We'll be keeping an eye on you.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for giving me the time.
You bet. That is Tommy Boss, former Florida Gator, former UNF Ospreys coach, and now the first-year head coach of the Providence Stallions. He'll build a nice program there at Providence, continue the good work the Providence Stallions have been, and right now they are loaded. Where will they fit in our high five power poll? They've been in it pretty much all year. Where are they this week? That's coming up a little bit later on in the show. Committed to the Uncommitted up next. No gate fees presented by Nimnick Buick GMC, and we'll hit the iCryo chat chamber. We've got some chat going on watching your kids play and being charged for it. It's next on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mild overnight into partly cloudy skies, dropping into the 60s. Clouds will increase and thicken with scattered showers and storms for your Tuesday. Have an umbrella nearby with highs around 80. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Now get 0% interest for 5 years with nothing down.
It's March Madness at Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway. This month, all new vehicle purchasers get 5 shots from the free throw line. Each shot you make is worth $100 off your new vehicle. That's up to $500 off. Stop by the showroom. Shoot and save. Nimnick Buick GMC is Jacksonville's #1 Buick GMC dealer. It's where my family has bought 6 vehicles. The latest one in December. Never pay over MSRP. NimnickBuickGMC.com. GMC. We are professional grade.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on select essential accessories plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The spring season on the campus of the University of North Florida is in full swing. A busy time to swoop baseball, softball, tennis, beach volleyball, track and field. Something for everyone at UNF. Find the schedules, results, the stories of the student athletes, and buy tickets at unfospreys.com. There are some fun things happening on the campus of the University of North Florida. You can also check out the strategic plan of the future for UNF athletics. It's all at unfospreys.com. Swoop with the Ospreys at UNF.
Digital marketing, well, my intern handles the social media, my brother-in-law does my search, and my receptionist sends out email blasts. All done.
Your digital marketing may get done, but is it doing anything? No? Then let CMG Local Solutions help. At CMG Local Solutions, we combine the best-in-class technology and analytics to maximize your digital dollars while targeting local customers for your business. So your digital marketing doesn't just get done, it gets results. Learn more about how we can help you at cmglocalsolutions.com.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Welcome back to No Gate Fees with Brent Martineau, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC.
All right, we've got the iCryo chat chamber coming up as well, and we'll have some comments from our big topic of the day. Do you mind paying your kids? Do you mind paying to watch your kids play sports and
Or
not
pay them.
just
That's
baseball and softball? Yeah, hopefully NIL turns into that for your kids
true.
someday, and they do get paid. But do you mind paying? Like, I think parking's coming soon. If it's not already happening in some places, I'm sure it's happening in some places. So, what do you think about it? What's the end game with it? And why do they shove it in our face when you go to travel ball tournaments when you're already paying for hotels and other expenses in that world? Why not just group it into the overall fee and don't tell us that way? Then I think I'd feel better about it. And one other note here, if you missed the start of the show, I don't mind it at the high school level, the school level. That's how they fundraise. That's how they pay bills. Like, they need that money. That's totally different than travel ball tournaments where they're getting you. And I will say this. We do baseball and softball. And we've got other examples coming up in other sports like cheerleading and lacrosse and volleyball and others. But softball doesn't do this nearly as much. I think softball actually does tie it into the team fee to play more often than baseball does. Baseball is just not afraid to be like, yeah, just keep giving me your money. And some other sports aren't afraid to do it as well. We just talked to Tommy Boss, Providence Stallions head baseball coach. Are having a terrific year. We'll have the high five power poll coming up in a moment. No Gate Fees presented by Nimnick Buick GMC, Brent Martineau and Casey Kurtz. And now we're joined by Matt Lewis, the Clay softball coach of 27 years. They're 8-4 this season, and he has seen a lot over there with the Clay Blue Devils and done a lot, by the way. Final Four in 2001, 2018, 2022. How about this? Won it all in 2001. First fast pitch state championship in Northeast Florida some 20 years ago. Last year hit the 500 win mark. Say hello to Matt Lewis, the head coach of the Clay softball team. Thanks for joining us on No Gate Fees on ESPN 690, Coach.
It's awesome, guys. Thank you for having me.
Well, that's quite a run, by the way. And one thing I'm really interested in, because I've really grown to love the softball game thanks to my daughter, but, you know, been more involved and watch it and see it. And I love the parity around here, and I think there's terrific talent around here. And I don't even think it's probably the best in the state. I think Tampa and Orlando and South Florida have terrific talent as well. But I'm really interested to see how much it's grown since you went to the state championship and won it in 2001 to 20 years later. Like, what's this area like then versus now in softball?
Oh, it's just exploded. When I first came on and started coaching, I really want to say there were only like 4 travel ball teams in Northeast Florida.
Wow.
And in Gainesville Gold, Jack Storm, I think you had Middleburg Fire, and then maybe 1 or 2 other littles. But I tell you, it has just erupted. You have basically a travel ball team at every age group, in an organization. And there's probably 15 to 20 of them in every community.
Yeah, maybe too many of them.
And I agree with you on that. It's watered it down a little bit, but, on the same level, I always look at it, it's always the experience for the kid. You want experiences for these young ladies, and it may not be the best stellar team you got out there. There's different divisions, A, B, and C when you start talking about USSSA. But it's just there. It gives all these kids an opportunity to do something, which cell phones and technology is taken away from kids right now.
Yeah, it's really it's cool to watch, and the game has exploded, right? I mean, there's so many more people watching the game. It's a great for our society that likes things to move fast. Softball is it, right? I mean, from a baseball, softball standpoint, it's it, and I think it's attracted a lot of people on TV. The popularity of the College Softball World Series, and obviously high level softball of all ages.
It has. It's really become a viewer premium right now because, like you said, College World Series for softball outdid the Baseball World Series this past year, which I thought was outstanding. We're doing a lot of fighting right now, trying to get the Olympics to take softball back because the numbers that they saw in the Olympics were just astronomical. And for a country that hosted the Olympics and didn't want it in there, it kind of pushed it out the door. But softball is a rising sport. It's fast paced. We move quick. Watching some of these young ladies who are slinging a ball at 62 to 65 mile an hour, and the girls that are jacking them over the fence. It's just become an exciting event for anyone to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I have said, and this is probably a topic for a different day, I wish Major League Baseball would get behind softball to support a pro league, kind of like NBA has done with the WNBA. And I don't know if that's the right vehicle to make it happen, but I just wonder if someday, and I know there's pro softball, but it's certainly not high profile. In fact, the college game is more high profile than the pro game, but maybe we get that someday for all this talent here in the United States and beyond. How hard is it to make it to a Final Four? You've been to 3 of them, 2001 we talked about, but also recently in 2018 and last year in 2022.
It's very difficult. My first year starting out, I won 8-18, and then 5 years later we turn around and we go and win a state championship. But it's not like football where the bigger, stronger team is going to just grind it down your throat and win every time. You can got a pitcher that's on and she's going to shut you down. Probably 2 of the best teams I've ever coached never made it out of the regionals to get to a Final Four.
Wow.
It's one bump here. It's a bad hop. It's, somebody broke up with their boyfriend over the weekend and you've got a girl that's got a crazy mind going on for a day or so. But, it's so many different things that play into it. And you hit the nail on the head. There's great softball in other regions and you got to fight these teams. A little different style in some of these other regions. South Florida, they're a slap, run, and gun. They're going to play it. They're going to pressure on you the whole day.
Matt Lewis, Clay softball coach with us here, giving some insight on not only his team, but softball in the area. I feel like this game, when I watched it years ago, it was just dominated by the pitcher. I think the hitting is so much better now, but is it still dominated by the pitcher if you're going to go far in high school softball?
Yeah, if you don't have a pitcher and you're not going to ride her out, if you've got 2 pitchers, you're going deep in the playoffs every year. And like I said, probably one of the best teams I had was the 19 when I had 2 real strong pitchers and a great offense. I mean, we were 7-1 when they shut us down for COVID. So probably one of the best teams. I thought we'd have made a nice run at it there. But pitching is dominant. But the hitting, these girls, they're doing the weightlifting. They're doing what they need to. Putting bat on the ball. It has made a turn on the offensive end of it where, back in the 1990s there, you had the Kelly Wilkersons, the Heather Schlickmans, that they're slinging it and you ain't putting the bat on the ball. They're embarrassing you almost.
You have, speaking of pitchers, a very good one. And Gabby Ellis headed to Mercer, just got her 400th strikeout. And by the way, she missed that season you're talking about, or most of it, because of COVID. Mm-hmm. How good is she? I'm not even sure relative to what you've had, but you know what good is. So how good is she, and how far can she help take you?
She's solid. Last year, she got injured in the middle of the season, so she missed, I believe, 8 games. And during that stretch, we went 4-4. And a couple 4 of them in there we probably should have won. But she came back and she pitched a little bit. It was a struggle. When she got back on track, that's when we made our run. We got hot at the right time. She was healthy. She was rested. You barely sneak into the regions by 0.77% to get in as the 8th seed. You travel to Baker County, and we were able to knock off the number 1 seed in the region. Then we had to travel to Wakulla, a very good friend of mine and Sally Wheeler out there. We get to knock off the number 3 team in the region. Then we get to travel to West Florida. And, West Florida didn't change graduation for us. So we had to play on our graduation night. So 4 of my seniors chose to playing the regional championship game. And Gabby Ellis was a huge role in that when we beat them 1-0 in the 10th inning.
Wow.
So if she continues with what she's doing, I'm going to ride that horse all the way to the Final Four again.
Yeah, why not? Matt Lewis, Clay softball coach. Let me leave you with this. How fun is it to coach the girls? You just said something like, you never know what you're going to get, right? So there's unpredictability. And I've had multiple coaches tell me that over the course of this show already, but there's unpredictability. But there's also a lot of laughs, right? Like a lot of smiles. And also they want to win. Like they're super competitive, but I find like they get over the loss relatively quick and put things in perspective. I don't know if that's with everyone, but I kind of feel like I've seen that.
And yeah, for the most part, but your real competitors, they don't. I coached girls basketball and I've coached football at Clay High School as well. So I when it comes to coaching girls, I won't go back and coach boys. My girls will look at me, they'll run through a brick wall and ask to do it again if I ask them to. They want to please you. It's unbelievable. We call ourselves a family. We put things in priority, and the girls realize that. I've probably got 600 phone numbers in my phone, and probably 450 of them are softball players and their families. But we always put things in priority. We always come out and say, rank them down there. God's first, followed by family, followed by school, followed by softball. And we believe that. And these parents and everybody else, I've got a guy that's running my grill that has cooked on my grill for 22 years. His daughter's graduated a long time ago, but he's still out there cooking in my grill. It's a community atmosphere. They're my family. I could pick up a phone and have 45 people at this house ready to help you at any point in time. That's the close-knit part that we get to with the girls. And I don't want to say I'm their father figure because they all have dads in the picture, but it is. I mean, when you're walking down the hallway and you got a girl that runs up behind you and gives you the biggest hug and you hadn't seen her, or you have another girl that comes and sits in your office and wants to talk, but you cut her the year before. So it's a different thing coaching girls, and you're saying you've got a daughter that's getting into it. Dang, man, best years of my life are sitting on a bucket coaching my daughter.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And by the way, you now are able to sit next to her on the bucket or in the dugout. Sydney Lewis, Crystal Rice, Charlie Proper, part of your staff as well. Matt Lewis, good luck the rest of the way. Thanks for joining us on No Gate Fees here on ESPN 690. I think we'll see you down the road.
Sounds great. Thank you guys for inviting me on. I appreciate it.
You bet. That is Matt Lewis, 27 years at Clay, and they're good again. We'll see if they're in our high five power poll coming up in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, Committed to the Uncommitted, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC, Davoli's House of Cards, and iCryo, of course. And let's recognize a softball player right now, and that is Nicole Gray from Paxson. She is a shortstop and third base. Nicole, 4.5 weighted GPA at Paxson, will graduate with an IB diploma, 3-year starter, integral part of the success the last 4 years at Paxson, and they've been very good. She can make every throw, play from shortstop. Nickname is, you ready for this? Hoover. Because she's a vacuum when the ball is hit her away. I've seen Nicole play, by the way. Very good player, and I love that they passed Nicole's name along. She can absolutely play at the next level, and this is what this program for us is all about is, hey, coaches, pick up the phone and call the Paxson coach and find out the travel coach of Nicole Gray, and let's get these kids in the spotlight because she can absolutely play at the next level, doesn't have a home yet, wants to play at the next level, and time's obviously running out for these seniors. So Nicole Gray from Paxson, we'll try to push that out there on social media a little bit, but if you're listening and you know folks, pass the name along, just, hey, at least take a look. Take a look, right?
Real quick on what you said, that IB degree, diploma, whatever they call it now, I can't stress to you enough how serious that is. My best friend in high school, he got an IB diploma and did the whole thing, and I didn't see the guy for 4 years. Like, that is how challenging that is, like the amount of work they have to do, and I'm sure it's tougher now. 8 years ago, now I feel old, but like that is a legit thing, and to still be like a big time softball player, that's like the most impressive thing I've heard today.
Yeah, and Paxson, by the way, is tough, difficult academically to begin with. One of the best schools in the area, and really in the Southeast, and so. Obviously, the grades are right there for Nicole, 4.5 weighted GPA, but she can play too now. So we'll push her name out there a little bit more. One to highlight her. We appreciate Marcel for making the card and Davoli's House of Cards as well. And we will continue to share some of the kids that want to still play at the next level. We're looking for seniors now. A bunch of baseball players ready to go here over the next few weeks, looking for more softball players. So if you know any other softball players that want to play at the next level, let's shine a light on them a little bit. And speaking of, can we flip quickly enough, or do you want to go to the iCryo chat chamber? Looks like you can flip quickly enough. Let's stay on committed to the uncommitted if you don't mind, Casey. And we'll highlight on the baseball side of things, senior Harper Osborne from Wolfson. We'll get him ready in just a couple moments. I got plenty to share anyway. He's off to a heck of a start from an on-base percentage over 600, a slugging or OPS of over 1,200. This is as of like last week, so they've played actually a couple more games. He also is a pitcher, so he's done well on the mound with a couple of saves against Fletcher and Bowles. Oh, we don't have Harper there tonight? Okay. We'll circle back on it then. We'll get the card out. I'm going to make sure we'll push the card out. Don't worry about the card today here on the show, but I'll make sure we put it up there while we're on Harper Osborne. That was my bad. I think I gave Casey the wrong card. But anyway, Harper at Wolfson. Got a high batting average, of course. Got a pretty low ERA. Can get it done both sides. And coach says it's been a gradual rise, but certainly not surprised by his success. He's the most mentally tough and steady player anywhere. He's perfect for a D2 level or JUCO candidate. So, again, we'll do the same thing. We'll push Harper's name out there. And the senior who's batting over 500 so far for Wolfson, they're off to a nice start. Got a nice win last week against Episcopal. And Harper Osborne is the name. Plays the hot corner, pitches as well. And once again, as coach says, nobody has worked harder to become a standout player than Harper. So we'll spread the word to some of the coaches. Committed to the uncommitted, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC, the Voleys, and iCryo as well. And again, at the end of this, we'll definitely have a scholarship available for one of our nominees in both baseball and softball. So the idea is to get attention for the college ranks, but there might be a few bucks as well at the end of the rainbow here on No Gate Fees. Speaking of iCryo, student passes at iCryo at the Pavilion at Durbin Park in St. Johns County. 6 services for $99, 16 services for $179. My kids use it. Kaylee got beat up this weekend on the softball diamond. She was using it as well as had a swollen left knee, went to iCryo, got the chamber, and it feels a lot better. Recovery for the arm, for the legs, for anything you're doing, any sport. The kids absolutely love it. So they have a student-athlete pass at iCryo in St. Johns County. Go check it out. The whole body cryotherapy, compression therapy, infrared sauna, red light therapy as well. Local cryofacial. They've got it all at iCryo in St. Johns County at the Pavilion at Durbin Park. Check them out, iCryo.com, and check them out on the iCryo app as well. And they are a sponsor of our iCryo chat chamber. And we're talking about no gate fees. And had some fantastic conversation on the Facebook. Yeah, the Facebook for you, Casey.
That's so bad.
And we got into cheerleading. So $10, $20 to get in for baseball, maybe softball. How about the cheerleading? It's like $30 for one day, $45 for 2 days. The competition lasts 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Some say they've paid up to $80. Travel ball tournaments are like a bargain compared to cheerleading.
Sounds like it.
My sister owned a few cheerleading gyms, so she was helping with some of this, and she's up in New England, so it's a different part of the country. I don't know if they're all like universal, but she said it's worth every penny. But I would say it is worth every penny for the moments and memories. Like, I get that side of it, but it's still insane, that amount of money to go watch your kid perform for 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Can we send a YouTube video?
Literally. A similar sentiment that I was telling you about from Amanda's aunt and uncle, who again are technically my aunt and uncle. This past weekend, they did the gymnastics, $20 a day, $10 parking. And then obviously, as you talked about, the hotels and stuff like that weigh in as well. Volleyball, apparently about $25. They do a weekend pass for $60.
Oh, what a deal.
But, and then again, the same situation that you just kind of talked about, they ended the text with, we wouldn't have it any other way. So there you go.
Yeah, and here's Kelly Dahlman jumped in on the Facebook side, and she was talking about 2 days of volleyball for 2 people, $80.
Crazy.
So 40 each, of course. Sarah Eddy, the bonus of coaching comp chair is getting in free. Yeah, if you're the coach. Although I saved the $30, I still pay to park, and the value of comp fees per cheerleading range from $45 to $80 to just be in the competition. And I know it costs money to get in the competition, definitely. Donna says, I paid $80 at ESPN to watch Kylie do gymnastics at a meet. Made travel softball feel cheap. And then they say, don't even ask. Jessica says, don't even ask about the uniform cost. So just some of the comments about the fees that it costs to watch your kids participate in especially travel events. That's one of our big topics. Can we do better? Like, does it have to be that much? Do they need to make that much money off it? Like, when's enough enough?
Depends on who you ask, Brent.
This feeds into the people that say, like, all that stuff's a scam. Like, I don't believe it's a scam because memories and there's a lot of good play that goes on. Like, there's a bunch of things. I already highlighted that a couple weeks ago on the show. A bunch of good things about travel sports. But, man, when they shove it in your face, like, you're going to pay anything we ask, and they're right.
Yeah, brutal.
That's not fun. You know what is fun? Our High Five Power Poll coming up next. Baseball and softball plus some games to watch before we put a bow on the show. No gate fees here on ESPN 690, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC. It's next. It's March Madness at Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway. This month, all new vehicle purchasers get 5 shots from the free throw line. Each shot you make is worth $100 off your new vehicle. That's up to $500 off. Stop by the showroom, shoot and save. Nimnick Buick GMC is Jacksonville's #1 Buick GMC dealer. It's where my family has bought 6 vehicles. The latest one in December. Never pay over MSRP. NimnickBuickGMC.com. GMC. We are professional grade.
Is your tub worn out, but you're not sure who to trust to replace it? With over 2 million successful bath remodels, people trust Bathfitter because we know how to do it right. We've been custom designing and manufacturing baths for over 35 years. Our unique tub-over-tub installation takes as little as a day with no demo to fit your busy schedule. And we offer a lifetime warranty on every tub. That's how confident we are in our quality and durability. Bathfitter, it just fits. Visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anna Jar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
We've been in Jacksonville now for 15 years, and as you know and I know, we have to be ready for those hot days. And this time of year, the cooler temperatures, too. Need that AC working and then be ready to turn on the heat for a day or two. Bold City Heating and Air has us ready. They have for years. Can't say enough about their customer service. The communication, they are prompt, they are clean, they are good. Bold City Heating and Air, and right now, take advantage of their 0% financing on all purchases and just $97 for a tune-up. Be ready for the chilly weather and the heat. Bold City Heating and Air. BoldCityAC.com.
Digital marketing, well, my intern handles the social media, my brother-in-law does my search, and my receptionist sends out email blasts. All done.
Your digital marketing may get done, but is it doing anything? No? Then let CMG Local Solutions help. At CMG Local Solutions, we combine the best-in-class technology and analytics to maximize your digital dollars while targeting local customers for your business. So your digital marketing doesn't just get done, it gets results. Learn more about how we can help you at cmglocalsolutions.com.
The spring season on the campus of the University of North Florida is in full swing. A busy time to swoop. Baseball, softball, tennis, beach volleyball, track and field. Something for everyone at UNF. Find the schedules, results, the stories of the student athletes, and buy tickets at UNFospreys.com. There are some fun things happening on the campus of the University of North Florida. You can also check out the strategic plan of the future for UNF athletics. It's all at UNFospreys.com. Swoop with the Ospreys at UNF. Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
Welcome back to No Gate Fees with Brent Martineau, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC.
Hey, welcome back to No Gate Fees. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter. That was his voice. Casey Kurtz. You can join Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz, and me, Brent and Friends, 3 p.m. 6 p.m. Each and every day here on ESPN 690. Then overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. Mondays are loaded up. Every Monday, 7 o'clock, right here, No Gate Fees on ESPN 690. And if you missed some of the show, you can always go back, watch it on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and Twitch, and also listen on the podcast. So we are here for you all the time. Join the discussion. Go back and listen to some of the shows. We try to bring up a main discussion point each and every show. Today on the show, it's actually gate fees. Do you mind watching your kids, paying to watch your kids play? Which sports are the most expensive? Are they going to charge parking soon enough? Is there a better way to do this so we don't get annoyed by it every time we have to pay? And we don't make that face at the fine people that are just volunteering their time and collecting the money. I will say I've been like in a bad mood at times with those folks.
Really?
Yeah.
Never would have guessed.
Like I'm not like, I don't say anything to them, but I probably not like you need a cup of coffee either.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't surprising.
It's not their fault.
You literally created the show literally for this reason and named it because you were mad. So no, I couldn't have tell you'd ever be mad about something like this.
I was. So
we created a show 5 years in the making.
Yes, it bothered me for 5 years, so I decided to make a show.
He's been stewing on it.
It might only last 12 weeks. Like, it might never happen again after these 12 weeks.
Maybe, but we can't undersell how many times this was mentioned to both me and Aaron from beginning to know you. You're like, hey, I got this great idea. I know it's your first day, but I'm really big on this. I'm like, oh, okay. We'll see what happens.
You should hear how many times I've said it to other people I know.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure your friends have heard it a ton.
Hey, we had committed to the uncommitted. I want to get senior Harper Osborne from Wilson, his baseball card up there. Marcel Robinson does a great job. DeVoy's House of Cards. You can see it. Maybe we'll make a whole set of cards that we can unveil at DeVoy's House of Cards. Yep. And we've got his picture up there now.
This
Good-looking
one was on
baseball
Casey. My
card.
bad, Harper.
Nah, it's all right.
Gotcha.
Over 500 average, over 600 OBP, 1,200 OPS. Pitching-wise, 2-1 in the save. Save versus Fernandina. Wins against Fletcher and Bowles on the mound, so he can do both things. Here's this from Coach Kaplan. Cornerstone of our success, and nobody has worked harder to become a standout player. It's been a gradual rise, but certainly not surprised by his success. Most mentally tough and steady player anywhere. Perfect D2 or JUCO candidate. He's a senior. Let's get him some attention, and we've done it a couple times on the show, so maybe that will be double the attention. Also, Nicole Gray on the softball side. We'll share some of this with some of the coaches that are out there, especially locally, and just hopefully word of mouth so they get at least a look. Take a look. Take a look if you've got some openings for the seniors that are running out of time but still want to play the game that they love. That's the whole idea of committed to the uncommitted. All right, let's take a look at our No Gate Fees High Five Power Poll. We're going baseball first, it looks like. And, we got a shakeup. I'm wondering if I'm going to hear about this a little. Got a little bit of a shakeup. You know, they're trying to shove Creekside up. I lean on a few coaches in the area. On the baseball side, softball side, names will not be given out. The other guys don't even know who's involved with it. But they're trying to shove Creekside higher and higher, and I just can't do it.
Oh, boy.
All right? But Creekside has won 12 in a row, and they're 13-1.
Well, then
so they've established themselves like as the number 3 team.
They should be on the list,
at least. Trinity Christian hadn't played in like 2 weeks. They've been at number 1 in our spot for a while. They got a big win over Providence to prove that. And then they did lose a game over the weekend in tournament play, but they won 2 out of 3, I think it was. And so I still like them in the one hole. We just talked to Tommy Boss earlier on the show. Providence Stallions, they got a big one with St. John's Country Day. Sandalwood has been terrific. Their schedule actually does lighten up a little bit, but they had another big week. Oakleaf just beat St. John's Country Day in 10 innings. They only have 1 loss. And if you thought their start was a little bit of a fluke, well, you're sleeping on them because Oakleaf is really good. And by the way, our man Devin Outlaw committed to the uncommitted, hit a home run in that
How about
game.
it? Love to see it.
About 400 feet, they told me.
Yeah, I believe that.
Now, St. John's Country Day, I'm not sure I should have squeezed them out or not. I'm struggling with it. They did lose to Oakleaf. They had a battle with Baldwin that concerned me a little bit. They needed 3 runs in the 7th to win. And then they got a nice win over Bartram Trail, but I don't know if we're giving Bartram Trail too much credit. They're 6-8. They've got a ton of talent, but they also have a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out. It's one of the games to watch this week. Creekside against Bartram Trail rivalry Thursday and Friday. So I'll get a better idea of Bartram Trail, and they are dangerous. Now, I know they're dangerous. And speaking of, congratulations to Colt Myers. as he gets invited to Team USA's development program today.
I saw that. It's cool.
So really cool for him. All right, before we hit the end of the show, let's go to the softball side of things. And Baldwin has been number one, but we've got a shakeup. They lose to Baker County. Episcopal continues to win dominant Grace Jones. She leads the way. I don't want to disrespect anybody else, but she is carrying them on the mound and at the plate. And their schedule is going to get a little bit lighter as it goes along, too. So it might be tough to bounce them out unless we factor in strength of schedule. But they've been very good. Can't deny it. Baker County, I lost from nowhere to be seen to number 3 with the win over Baldwin. Played a tough schedule. They're good. That's another one I don't think I'm going to be able to see, but they play Creekside on Thursday. So another good matchup on the softball diamond. Speaking of good matchups, West Nassau at University Christian, or against University Christian tomorrow. West Nassau lost a 15-inning game to the Gatorade Player of the Year, Jazzy Franchik and Melbourne. I don't know if I said her last name right, but she's been dominant. 15 innings, 1-0 game.
That's crazy.
So I keep him at number 4, and I've got Clay in there, and not just because Coach Lewis was on the show, but they beat Providence 11-1 last week. After losing to Sandalwood 2-0, I can't figure this stuff out.
It's like college basketball, bro. There's a lot of parity going on.
It's parity. And I keep an eye on Paxson now. Keep an eye on Paxson around the area. Get some good softball. Get some good baseball. That's what this show's all about. We appreciate you hanging out with us. No gate fees presented by Nimnick Buick GMC. Davoli's House of Cards and iCryo as well. And we'll do it again next week. For Casey Kurtz, I'm Brent Martineau. Thanks to Tommy Boss and Coach Matt Lewis as well for joining us. Have a good rest of your night. No gate fees every Monday on ESPN 690. It's March Madness at Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway. This month, all new vehicle purchasers get 5 shots from the free throw line. Each shot you make is worth $100 off your new vehicle. That's up to $500 off. Stop by the showroom, shoot and save. Nimnick Buick GMC is Jacksonville's #1 Buick GMC dealer. It's where my family has bought 6 vehicles. The latest one in December. Never pay over MSRP. NimnickBuickGMC.com. GMC. We are